Most people think carbs are the enemy, but the truth is completely different here. Your body has a hidden backdoor that pulls glucose straight into muscle without insulin. Almost nobody in mainstream health ever talks about this powerful mechanism inside you. And once you understand it, you will never think about blood sugar the same way. The real problem is not what you are eating, but when and how you move after. A short walk after meals sounds smart, but it barely moves the needle at all. Your muscles have an emergency switch that works completely independent of insulin every time. Today, you will learn exactly how to flip that switch and take control back. 3 strategies grounded in real science that work from 3 completely different angles together. And the third one will completely change how you think about eating carbs forever. Let us start with what actually happens inside your body every time you eat carbs. Glucose enters your bloodstream and your blood sugar begins to rise steadily after eating. Your pancreas senses this rise and releases a hormone called insulin into your blood. Insulin travels through your body looking for muscle cells to deliver that glucose into. It works exactly like a key searching for a specific lock on each muscle cell. That lock is called GLUT4, and it is essentially a door into the muscle cell. Insulin finds that lock, turns the key, and glucose walks right through the door inside. When everything works properly, your muscles absorb glucose and convert it into clean energy. Your blood sugar returns to normal and you feel focused and steady after meals. But for millions of people dealing with insulin resistance, this process completely breaks down fast. The locks on your muscle cells become stiff and resistant, and the key barely turns. Insulin is still being produced, but the door simply refuses to open the way before. So glucose has nowhere to go and keeps floating around dangerously inside your bloodstream instead. That floating glucose triggers inflammation and begins sticking to your proteins, causing real damage inside. Eventually, your liver converts all that excess glucose directly into body fat through storage pathways. Your energy crashes after meals, and your cravings spike, and your waistline slowly expands daily. Most people have no idea that blood sugar is silently driving all of these problems. But here is where it gets genuinely interesting, because your muscles have a secret back door, a hidden emergency override that completely bypasses insulin and pulls glucose in all by itself. When you contract your muscles with real intensity, something powerful gets triggered deep inside cells. A master sensor inside your muscle called AMPK wakes up and reads the fuel situation. Think of AMPK like a fuel gauge that is also connected directly to an alarm system. When energy burns down fast during hard movement, AMPK does not just sit there quietly. It immediately sends out an emergency signal that commands the GLUT4 doors to fly open. Glucose floods directly into the muscle without insulin being involved at any point whatsoever here. That is the power of the back door, and it already exists inside your body today. Now, you might wonder why a casual walk does not create this same powerful effect. Walking involves muscle contractions, but it simply does not create enough intensity to activate AMPK. A casual walk is like turning a dimmer switch down low and barely changing anything. Intense body weight exercise is like flipping a full power switch that changes everything completely immediately. Walking lights a small candle, while push-ups and squats light a powerful bonfire inside you. The bonfire is what activates AMPK hard enough to throw those glucose doors completely open. So, here is the exact practical move you need to use right after every meal. The moment you finish eating, do not sit down and scroll through your phone immediately. Instead, get up and do 2 or 3 sets of intense body weight exercises right there. You do not need a gym or any equipment at all to make this work. Drop down and do push-ups or stand and do air squats wherever you currently are. Your legs are the biggest muscle group, so squats and lunges are your best option. Your chest and back come next, so a few sets of push-ups works perfectly well. Take those sets close to failure, because difficulty is exactly what triggers the AMPK alarm hard. Easy movement produces a weak signal, while hard movement produces the powerful emergency signal needed. This brief, intense effort turns your muscles into a powerful glucose-absorbing sponge very fast. That sponge effect lasts anywhere from 15 minutes to a full hour after you finish. Every glucose molecule in your blood gets pulled directly into muscle during that entire window. Instead of drifting toward fat storage, it goes straight into muscle tissue where it belongs. You are not just burning a few extra calories with this approach at all here. You are completely redirecting the metabolic outcome, and it costs you absolutely nothing to do. Now, let us talk about making the insulin your body releases work as cleanly as possible. Even with the back door working, your body still releases insulin after every single meal daily. If that insulin release is sluggish or sputtering, your blood sugar management will still struggle. This is where a mineral almost nobody discusses becomes critically important to understand right now. That mineral is calcium, and its role goes far beyond simply keeping your bones strong. Insulin is stored inside tiny protective bubbles called vesicles, deep inside your pancreatic cells daily. These vesicles need a very specific trigger before they release that insulin into your bloodstream. That trigger is calcium, and the process works more like an electrical spark than anything else. After eating, glucose enters your pancreatic cells, and the energy level inside those cells rises. That energy rise creates an electrical change that throws open special channels allowing calcium inside. Calcium rushes in rapidly, and that influx is the physical signal the vesicles urgently need. The insulin does not leak out slowly, but instead fires fast and floods into the blood. Think of it like a spark plug in a car engine running on high-quality fuel. You might have plenty of insulin stored and ready, but a weak spark ruins everything fast. Weak calcium signaling creates sputtering and inefficient insulin release that leaves your blood sugar unstable. Strong, clean calcium signaling means your insulin fires precisely and efficiently every single time you eat. So how do you keep your calcium signaling strong and consistent throughout every single day? The answer is simpler than you think and does not require expensive supplementation of any kind. Start sipping on a high-calcium mineral water consistently throughout your day, 1 bottle daily. Brands like San Pellegrino and Gerolsteiner contain naturally occurring calcium in meaningful and useful amounts. Check the label and look specifically for the calcium content listed clearly on each bottle. You can also get solid dietary calcium from kefir, cottage cheese, or drinkable yogurt daily. These whole food sources give you calcium without spiking your blood sugar in any way.
Mineral water during the day and magnesium in the evening.
If you take magnesium, which you really should take it, in the evening, not morning. Dietary calcium through the day and magnesium in the evening is the simple split that matters. Now combine that calcium strategy with your post-meal movement and you already have something powerful. But the third piece is where this entire system reaches a completely different level altogether. This third strategy will challenge everything you currently believe about eating carbohydrates right now, today. Most people are genuinely afraid of carbs and have been told to avoid them completely. But the truth is more empowering than that blanket fear has ever allowed you to believe. There is one specific time window where carbs almost guarantee muscle growth instead of fat storage. That window is during your actual workout, while your muscles are actively contracting and working hard. When you are training intensely, your GLUT4 doors are not just unlocked, but completely ripped open. Your working muscles become a powerful vacuum, actively pulling glucose straight out of your bloodstream fast. Any simple carbs you consume during this window get pulled immediately into contracting muscle as fuel. They also replenish the glycogen you just burned during that session in real time, immediately. This is the one moment where carbs get a direct ticket straight to muscle tissue. No waiting for the insulin shuttle and no risk of overflowing into fat storage pathways. But something even deeper is happening here that most health content never properly explains at all. Long-term insulin resistance causes your mitochondria to forget how to use glucose as fuel properly. When insulin signaling stays disrupted, your cells gradually lose the ability to process carbohydrates efficiently. But when you consume carbs during your workout, AMPK is fully activated and insulin stays out. Your mitochondria gets to use glucose completely on its own, like a focused practice session daily. With each session, it becomes sharper and more efficient at handling carbohydrates properly over time. You are literally retraining your cellular machinery to use carbs correctly through consistent, smart timing. For workouts longer than 60 minutes, add a small amount of fast-acting carbs to water. Cyclic dextrin powder digests fast and works extremely well without upsetting your stomach during training. Watermelon juice is a natural option that also delivers citrulline to improve blood flow significantly. Sip every 15 to 20 minutes and let your working muscles absorb exactly what they need. These three strategies work together as a complete system that builds stronger results over time. Post-meal movement pulls glucose into muscle before fat storage can ever happen to you. Mineral water and dietary calcium ensure your insulin fires cleanly and precisely every time you eat. Intra-workout carbs retrain yourselves to handle glucose correctly and rebuild your metabolic flexibility fully. None of these require a prescription or an expensive program or a complicated diet to follow. They only require your own body weight, some quality mineral water, and some smart timing around workouts. Finish your next meal and drop into a few sets of push-ups or air squats immediately. Pour yourself a glass of high-calcium mineral water before or during your next meal today. And during your next workout, bring watermelon juice or cyclic dextrin to sip while training hard. 3 habits targeting 3 mechanisms solving the same metabolic problem that has been holding you back. Your blood sugar does not have to keep controlling your energy, your mood, and your body. You now have the tools, the science, and the exact steps to begin changing things today. The driver's seat of your own metabolism has been sitting empty for far too long already. It is time to get back in and take the wheel completely back into your own hands.